To someone who was at the scene of the shooting, he is getting ready for tonight's game. He is Republican Congressman Gary Palmer. He was at the scene just 20 yards away from the shooter. Congressman, thank you so much. We're so grateful to see you and have you on the show. Can you put us at the scene? What did you see?
We were taking batting practice. I had already batted and was in the field. Steve Scalise was at second. I was at short, and Congressman Trent Frank of Mississippi was at third base. And I heard a gunshot, and I immediately yelled to Trent, "That was a gunshot." And he said, "I know." And then he turned around, and the guy was pointing a gun directly at him. It's a miracle that he missed Trent. And Trent yelled, "Get out of here!" And we started trying to find cover as we were moving across the baseball field. He fired two more shots, and one of those hit Steve. I saw Steve go down. And we sought cover behind a big oak tree outside the fence. Steve dragged himself off the infield dirt, probably 10 or 15 yards into the outfield. We were yelling at him to stay still and stay down. And just, I mean, it was an excruciating time that passed before we could get to him.
Sir, I could see the heartbreak that you're feeling, and it's just so devastating to see your wounded colleague there, and you want to help him. We're split screening right now, showing footage of the people at the scene, your colleagues racing around trying to help. That must have been so frustrating for you.
Well, Brad Winstrup, who is a doctor, was a medic, combat medic in Iraq. We were together. We had the Capitol Police had ordered us to move back to another area of cover behind a concrete block building, and Brad and I moved to an area where we could see Scalise. As soon as the shooter was down, we got out to the field as quickly as we can, and I could see it in Brad's face and eyes, the emotion as he tended to Steve. He kept Steve alert. He kept asking him questions. We got fluids in him. Brad was doing all he could to put compression on the wound and stop the bleeding, and until the paramedics could get there. And I would also like to mention that Special Agent David Blair, who was wounded in the gunfight, hobbled out to the field. We tried to get him to take a seat on the ground so we could check his wounds. He refused. He would not leave Steve's side.
That is also more heroism coming out of this story. How is the team feeling now? Well,
I'm sure the emotions.
I understand, sir. We're with you right now. Yeah, the emotions are going to come out. Are you going to? Is there a plan to have a group prayer? I mean, we've seen a lot of the Democrats team praying. Is there plans for that? We are totally feeling you right now on how hard this is. Go ahead.
Yeah, we want to pray with the Democrat team. We want to do this for Steve, but we want to do this for the country. This is an extraordinarily tragic way to begin this game the day before, but to come together tonight as not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans, of people who believe in our form of government, who understand to preserve this form of government, we have to have civil dialogue, and we've got to come together. The country's coming apart on the edges. We're fraying the culture, and I think we are the ones that can set the example for everybody else, including the media, including the people who are doing social media, including people out there who are really frustrated. We're all frustrated, but we have a history of being able to work out our differences, and we've got to demonstrate that tonight, that we can come together.
Yes, sir. Steve Forbes and I were just talking about the atmosphere in D.C. Are you seeing a rethink, a reset? Are you seeing an outpouring of support coming into your congressional offices and throughout Congress that maybe both Democrats and now Republicans can get together and unite for once to move the country forward? Your final thoughts.
That is my hope and aspiration, and as much as it's up to me, I'm going to make every attempt to do that. I understand that elections have consequences. One party's going to have a majority, another's not. Both parties have been in and out of majorities. But my aspiration is to try to work with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. We're the majority. We're going to try to move our agenda, but I want to be sensitive to what they think and see if we can find a way to work together to move our country forward.
Congressman Gary Palmer, thank you so much for your time, sir. Good luck tonight. Hope you hit a few.